12,000 years ago, there was no Egypt, no pyramids, no writing, no cities. Humanity, as far as we have ever been taught, was still learning how to survive. And yet, on a quiet hill in southeastern Turkey, someone carved massive stone pillars with the precision of a master mason and then buried them on purpose. No metal tools existed yet. No wheel, no known way to move stones this heavy, so who carved them? And why would anyone bury something this advanced and then walk away forever? This is Göbekli Tepe. The name means pot-belly hill. It sounds humble. It is not. Archaeologists call it the oldest known monumental structure on Earth. Older than Stonehenge by 6,000 years, older than the first cities, older than the wheel itself. For decades, the official story of civilization said that humans built temples only after they built farms. Göbekli Tepe broke that timeline. And once you understand what was found beneath this hill, you will understand why some scientists still argue about what it truly means. In 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt visited a hill that local farmers had walked over for generations. They knew there was something under the soil, broken stones, strange shapes, but no one had looked closely. Schmidt looked closely. What he found beneath that quiet hill would force historians to question everything they thought they knew about the birth of civilization. Buried under centuries of dirt were rings of massive limestone pillars, some standing over 5 meters tall, some weighing more than 10 tons. They were arranged in deliberate circles, and carved into their surfaces were foxes, boars, vultures, scorpions, and snakes, animals captured in motion, frozen in stone. Radiocarbon dating placed the site at roughly 9,600 BCE. That number is almost difficult to process. It means this structure is more than 11,000 years old. It was built by people who, according to the traditional timeline of human development, should not have had the tools, the social organization, or the motivation to build anything like this. To put that in perspective, when these pillars were raised, the last ice age had only just ended. Woolly mammoths still walked parts of the earth. The Great Pyramid of Giza would not be built for another 7,000 years. Stonehenge was not even a distant idea yet. There was no Sumer, no Babylon, no written word in any language, anywhere on the planet. And yet here on this one hill, people had already developed the skill to quarry stone, the engineering to shape it, and the organization to raise it into place. Schmidt spent the rest of his life studying this site, convinced that it held the key to understanding something fundamental about who we are. He passed away in 2014, before the hill could reveal all of its secrets. The work continues today, but the questions he raised are still mostly unanswered. But they did. And that single fact changed archaeology forever. Here is what makes Göbekli Tepe so unsettling. The people who built it were not farmers. They had no permanent villages, no pottery, no domesticated animals. By every definition we use for civilization, they were still hunter-gatherers. And yet hunter-gatherers do not typically organize themselves to quarry, carve, transport, and raise stone pillars weighing as much as a small truck, without a centralized authority, a shared belief system, and months, perhaps years, of coordinated labor. So a question forms, one that still has no clean answer. Did organized religion come first, and did it create civilization, rather than the other way around? Klaus Schmidt believed something profound. Temples may have come before cities, not after. If true, this means the human need to gather, to worship, to mark something sacred, might be older and more powerful than the need for farmland or shelter. It is a theory, not a proven fact, but it is one of the most debated ideas in modern archaeology. And it raises a haunting question. What could possibly motivate people with almost nothing, no metal, no wheel, no writing, to build something this enormous just to honor it? There is also the simple physical problem of how. The largest pillars at Göbekli Tepe weigh between 10 and 20 tons. The nearest quarry sits a few hundred meters away, but moving stone of that size uphill, without animals trained for heavy labor and without any wheeled cart, would have required dozens, perhaps hundreds, of people pulling in coordinated rhythm. That kind of coordination does not happen by accident. It requires leadership. It requires a shared belief powerful enough to convince people to give up months of their lives, hauling stone for a purpose with no immediate, practical reward. No food stored, no shelter built. Just stone raised toward the sky for reasons we still do not fully understand. Walk among the pillars even today, and you feel watched. Many of the stones are carved into T-shapes, and several bear faint weathered arms etched along their sides, as if the pillars themselves are meant to represent standing figures. Some researchers believe they depict ancestors, or perhaps something else entirely. Spiritual guardians, or beings the builders considered sacred. The animal carvings are equally strange. Vultures appear again and again, often hovering near depictions that some researchers interpret as human forms. In many ancient cultures, vultures were associated with death, carrying the spirits of the dead into the sky. Was this a burial site? A temple for the dead? A place to mark the passing of souls into another world? No human remains have ever been confirmed inside the main structures, which only deepens the mystery. If it was built for the dead, where are they? We do not know, and the people who built it left no written language to tell us. One detail makes the silence even heavier. Some of the largest pillars stand at the center of each ring, taller than the rest, facing one another like figures in conversation. Researchers sometimes describe them as a pair, almost as if they represent specific individuals, or ancestors, or something the builders considered powerful enough to anchor the entire structure around them. We can describe what we see. We cannot say with confidence who or what they were meant to be. Here is the detail that disturbs archaeologists the most. Göbekli Tepe was not destroyed by war. It was not buried by a natural disaster. The evidence suggests something far stranger. The builders themselves buried it, deliberately, intentionally, with purpose. Around 8000 BCE, after generations of building, carving, and gathering at this site, the people who used it filled the entire structure with rubble, dirt, and broken stone, and walked away. Why would anyone bury a monument their ancestors had spent centuries creating? Some researchers believe it was a ritual act, a way of retiring a sacred space once its purpose had been fulfilled, the way some cultures decommission a temple instead of letting it decay. Others believe it may have been an act of closure, sealing away something the builders no longer wanted disturbed. And in the silence left by missing answers, darker theories have grown. Some have speculated the burial was an act of fear, that something about the site or what it represented needed to be hidden, not honored. This idea remains speculative and unproven, but it persists because the deliberate, careful nature of the burial does not look like abandonment. It looks like a decision. Whatever the reason, that burial is also the reason Göbekli Tepe survived 11,000 years, almost perfectly intact. The people who buried it may have unknowingly preserved it for us to find. Göbekli Tepe forces us to confront an uncomfortable possibility, that the story of human progress is not a straight line from primitive to advanced. It may be full of forgotten peaks, moments of ambition, belief, and capability that rose, flourished, and were buried, both literally and in memory. Less than 5% of the site has been excavated. Ground-penetrating radar suggests there may be at least 20 more massive stone rings still hidden beneath the hill, untouched for thousands of years. Every answer we have found at Göbekli Tepe has produced new questions. We know roughly when it was built. We do not know with certainty why. We do not know what the symbols mean. We do not know what happened in the final days before it was sealed. What we do know is this: long before Egypt, before Sumer, before the wheel and before writing, human beings already had the will, the belief, and the unity to build something meant to outlast them. And it did. Somewhere beneath that quiet hill in Turkey, there may still be chambers no living person has entered in 11,000 years, carved by hands that left no names, for reasons they never wrote down, sealed by a choice we may never fully understand. Civilization did not begin where we thought it did. It began in the dark beneath a hill, with people who believed something was worth building and worth burying, and the hill is still waiting. If you want more stories from humanity's forgotten past, subscribe to Mythic Origins.